Welcome to the Raising Confident Girls podcast, your guide to raising strong, confident daughters. I'm Melissa Jones, the founder of Girls Positivity Club and a teacher for over 20 years. In a world where girls often feel overwhelmed, anxious, and confused, this podcast is your go-to space. As caregivers, we navigate challenges together. I founded Girls Positivity Club to provide a place where you belong and get the tools to face today's hurdles. Consider this your regular check-in with a trusted friend, offering insights and practical tips for meaningful conversations. I'm here to help you feel confident on this journey of raising a generation of empowered girls. Let's dive in and raise those confident girls together. Hey everybody, it's Melissa, and welcome back to Raising Confident Girls. And thank you so much for being here for another Pep Talk Friday. I want to talk about one of those really specific summer moments that I think so many of us know exactly what I'm talking about the second I say it. Your daughter barely says much all day, and then suddenly at bedtime, that's when she wants to talk. Or sometimes she's been talking all day, and sometimes bedtime still turns into another 45 minutes of connection, questions, stories, random thoughts, or deep conversation. Maybe it starts when the lights are low, or when you're laying beside her for a minute, or when you're halfway out the door and suddenly hear, "Mom?" And sometimes it's little things, random thoughts, questions, funny stories, things she forgot to tell you earlier, even though you're thinking, I thought we already talked about all this. Things they suddenly want to tell you before the day ends. Oh, I almost forgot this. I want to tell you. And sometimes it gets deeper really fast. Friendship stuff, worries, big feelings, questions about herself. And sometimes it happens at the exact moment you are the most exhausted. Like you've made it through the whole day. You finally sat down. And suddenly now she wants to emotionally unpack her life at 10:17 at night. And summer can make you feel this even bigger because bedtime often shifts later too, because it stays lighter outside longer. Routines can loosen up, even if you do have structure. And meanwhile, you still may be sitting there thinking, I still have to get up early tomorrow. I still have to work. I still have to clean up the kitchen or pack lunches for camp. So if bedtime conversations sometimes feel both really meaningful and a little exhausting, even though we want them to connect with us, that's incredibly normal too. And if you've ever had that moment where part of you is thinking, I want to be present for this, but I'm so tired, you are definitely not alone. But here's what I want you to understand about why this happens. A lot of girls open up at bedtime because it's one of the first moments all day where things finally get quiet enough emotionally, especially during the summer. During the days, there can be camps and activities, siblings, noise, screens, activities, transitions, stimulation, people around all the time, or maybe they're alone a lot of the time. And even in really fun summers, girls are still taking in a lot emotionally throughout the day. But bedtime feels different. The pressure drops. The distractions slow down. There's less eye contact, less performing, less stimulation. And for a lot of girls, that's when their thoughts finally catch up to them. And I think sometimes we assume if she didn't bring it up earlier, maybe it wasn't important. But a lot of girls actually process emotions later than adults expect them to, especially girls who think deeply, internalize things, mask socially, try to stay easygoing, or hold things together emotionally during the day. Sometimes bedtime is the first moment they fully slow down enough to process their day. And sometimes they're not even carrying something heavy. Sometimes they just finally have uninterrupted space to keep connecting with you. And this can look different depending on the girl too. For younger girls, it might sound like, Mom, what if nobody plays with me tomorrow? Or, why was my friend acting weird today? Or honestly, they may just suddenly become very talkative and talk about random things and want to keep the connection going. And it can seem to come out of nowhere. For older girls, sometimes it comes out more casually at first. They may suddenly start talking in the dark, bringing up something random, or slowly circle around what they actually want to say. And sometimes older girls who barely talked all day suddenly become surprisingly open once the world quiets down a little. And I think this is important too. Sometimes girls talk more at bedtime because laying beside you feels emotionally safer than sitting face to face talking during the day. There's less pressure in it, less intensity, and honestly, some of the most meaningful conversations with girls happen when they don't feel directly put on the spot. And I know this part can feel tricky for us because bedtime conversations don't always happen at convenient times. Sometimes you are just tuckered out. You're tired, done for the day, trying to clean up, trying to breathe for 5 minutes. And sometimes we accidentally shut the moment down without meaning to. Not because we're bad moms, because we're exhausted humans. So it can sound like, we'll talk tomorrow, okay? You need to go to sleep, honey. This isn't really the time for this. And again, no guilt here because we've all experienced moments like that. But what I do think helps is understanding that these bedtime moments are often less about solving everything and more about emotional availability. Girls don't often need a perfect answer, a long conversation, a big parenting speech. Sometimes they just need to feel heard, safe, and emotionally close to you. A lot of girls actually calm down simply from feeling emotionally accompanied in what they're feeling. And sometimes 5 calm minutes matters more than a 30-minute conversation. And sometimes it's okay to gently say, I want to hear more about this. And I also want to make sure we get some sleep tonight, okay? Because emotional availability doesn't have to mean completely emptying yourself every single night too. It's okay for connection to happen in small, sustainable ways. And I also think that this helps us release some pressure too, because you don't have to perfectly handle every bedtime conversation. You don't have to suddenly become a nighttime therapist. Sometimes what helps most sounds like, that makes sense. Oh, I can see why that bothered you. Or, I'm really glad you told me. We can figure it out together. And one thing I really want you to remember is this. If your daughter opens up to you at bedtime, that is actually a really beautiful sign of emotional trust and connection, even when the timing feels inconvenient. Because usually girls share vulnerably in the places where they feel emotionally safest. And years from now, she's probably not going to remember whether the kitchen was perfectly cleaned up or whether bedtime got pushed back by 15 minutes. But she will remember what it felt like to bring her thoughts, stories, worries, feelings, and anything else to you. And that matters, especially in these summer months where routine shift and connection sometimes looks different than it does during the school year. So if bedtime has suddenly become, or you know it's coming, the moment your daughter wants to talk, you're not doing anything wrong, and neither is she. It may simply be one of the first quiet moments all day where she finally gets to slow down and connect with you. Or maybe she just wants more of your connection. even if you feel like that you've given her a lot during the day. I hope this was helpful. You're doing a great job. And I know that summer is not always easy, but I'm here with you every step of the way, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining another empowering episode of the Raising Confident Girls podcast. Share today's insights with caregivers and friends, building beautiful relationships with strong girls. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're not just a podcast, we're a community. Follow Girls Positivity Club on social media for more empowering content on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. This podcast empowers you, supporting incredible girls. Let's create strong, beautiful relationships with the girls in our lives. I appreciate you listening today. Stay confident, stay connected. Until next time, keep raising those confident girls. You've got this.